Hello, today you will hear a story about a man's revenge. My life cannot be called a shining example to follow. I never aspired to move to a big city where it was noisy and crowded. Most of my friends took every opportunity to leave our small town. Jason, it's time for you to move from this small, useless town. My friend Henry told me. Henry, what have I forgotten in this huge anthill? I like everything here. Yes, you understand? These are great opportunities. You can develop and earn decent money. Henry, I don't want to live in the little box you call an apartment. So what? For time, you can earn more and buy yourself a better home. Henry, you just recently moved there. Let's see how you will argue in a couple of years. I like the calm and quiet life in our town, and I'm quite satisfied with the work at the sawmill. Well, look, if you suddenly change your mind, then I can easily put in a good word for you. We will find you a decent job. Okay. Henry, thank you very much. I will think. I worked at a local sawmill. The work was hard and responsible, but I liked it, and I did well. I got on well with the sawmill owner, Louis, and I hope that in the future I would be able more and more responsible work, which would bring me a better income. When I was young, I met Jessica. This girl studied elsewhere, but often came to visit her parents. I often helped her to transport various things and helped her parents around the house. Initially, we were just friends with Jessica, but soon our friendship grew into something more. More precisely, I have long been in love with this girl, and Jessica really appreciated my help. She liked my reliability. She could always count on me, and it played a major role in our joint future. Jessica responded to me in return, from which I was in seventh heaven with happiness. And it's been 15 years since we got married. Everything suited me in our life. I still madly loved Jessica and tried to spoil her with various romantic surprises. But Jessica spent quite a lot of time in the big city. She rather reluctantly agreed to live with me in my private home. And because of this, we often had quarrels. Jason, I'm tired of this place. When will we move to the city? I have all my friends there, but it's very boring here. I literally have nowhere to go. And your earnings here are not very great. Dear, well, what pulls you into this city turmoil? It's so calm here. We have a lot of space in the house and on the territory near the house. Though annoying neighbors, fresh air. And with money in the future, it should be easier. Louis believes in me as he believes in himself and will trust new projects on which I can earn much more. Honey, you've been talking to me for a year about a big salary. But there is no point. You are all in the same place. Your peers have already managed to change a bunch of different jobs in search of the best, and you're always in the same place. Your Louis is a miser who will feed you breakfast until old age, and I don't want to wait that long. Our house is beautiful, and it would be nice to come here sometimes to relax, but I did not agree to live here permanently. I'd nowhere to put my clothes. Jessica was a big fashionista. The people living here did not share her views. They were very simple, and this annoyed her insanely. Because on the one hand, I understood her, but in the middle of a big city, I would be an absolute stranger. I didn't even want to imagine such a life. Louis, do you have a minute? He asked. Yes. Jason, of course, what happened? Louis, I have been working for you for many years. I need development. I want to earn more, you understand? Jason, I understand this like no one else. You are my most valuable employee, and I deeply appreciate your work. But understand me. We are now having a hard time with investors, but I need to keep our entire enterprise in operation. But as soon as we get out of these problems, then you are my #1 person for a solid bonus and an increase in salary. But I understand how it all looks. Let's put aside all our business for a bit and have dinner together. I think this is a great idea. Come on, take your wife and meet at a restaurant at 8 o'clock in the evening. I will not accept a rejection. I have to thank you somehow for your work. Louis, I certainly appreciate your offer, but I need to discuss this with Jessica. Okay, but I think she won't mind. See you in the evening. Louis's eternal excuses were already in my liver. If I wanted to leave this place, it would be because of these working conditions. Louis has already given me quite a lot of work of all kinds, but the income from this has not increased much. My patience was already at the limit. Jessica, hi. Hi, darling. I see you are in a good mood today. Yes. Jason Lilly called me here. He invited us to a restaurant in the evening. Yes, I know. No need to discuss anything. Maître, darling, I don't understand why you have so much enthusiasm. You said yourself that he is a rare asshole. I know, Miss you. Like Sticky said. I was wrong. Louis is a very sweet and educated person. So, I think we'll have a good dinner today, get to know him better, and then maybe things will go uphill faster for you. Refill faster for you too. Well, I don't know, but since you want it so much, you can talk to him. I was worried about Jessica's zeal. She changed her attitude towards Louis so abruptly that I did not expect. But I decided not to betray this strong significance. And then this evening came. Fine, dears. I've been waiting for you, Louis said with a smile from ear to ear when he saw us. Yes, Louis, very nice. Jessica, you look fantastic today. Thank you, Mitz. I'm very pleased. Jessica answered with a shy smile. We sat down at the table. Jessica, I always wanted to ask you, what did such a princess forget in our wilderness? It's all Jessen. He's the reason I live here. Jessica replied a little angrily. I understand that we do not have a resort here and not a huge city with secular evenings. Louis looked at me with a wicked smile. Louis, yes. I would love to, but with the money you pay me, it's not possible to travel very far. I decided to shame Louis. Yes. Jason, I understand you. But a real man should not have excuses and excuses. He should pamper his princess. Jessica, you want a real man with you, don't you? Louis looked slyly at Jessica. Oh, Louis, it's like you're stuffing yourself into my suitors. Jessica replied with a smile. No, what are you? I'm not the kind to steal other people's wives from my employees. But you. Jason, take care of her, otherwise, if not me, then someone else will try to steal her from you. I didn't like these conversations. I tried to restrain myself from saying too much, but they seemed to be flirting brazenly right in front of my eyes. This evening was hell for me. I drank a couple of bottles of wine to somehow endure this slippery communication. So, Louis, I beg your pardon, but we have to go. Thanks for the evening. Louis, I said angrily. Jason, what are you doing? We sit so well. Drunken Jessica answered indignantly. Jessica, if I said that we have to go, then get your ass up and out. And don't make me say it twice. Jason, calm down. No need to quarrel. We are all tired today. Let's sit down another day. Louis tried to correct the situation. We parted. Louis's impudent behavior terribly pissed me off, as if he decided for us what is better for us and how we are better off. But what pissed me off the most was Jessica's behavior. Jessica, what the hell was that? Jason, I wanted to ask you. We sat and talked so well, and you seemed to be an angry, grouchy grandfather sitting and being indignant all evening. Not only did you ruin such a wonderful evening, but you literally kicked me out of the restaurant. Yes, if I had not kicked you out, you would have started fighting before my eyes. What were you talking about? That's it. I don't want to talk anymore. This evening was one of the first times I started noticing Jessica's odd behavior. While I was working late, she would go somewhere. Although in the old days, it was literally impossible to kick her out of the house. The persons is, I have more and more suspicions every day. In the end, I decided to follow Jessica. I was terribly interested in what she does when I'm not around. One day I told Jessica that I would help Steve with the construction of his house and would probably stay there until late. Jessica wasn't in the least bit annoyed or upset that it was my day off, and we usually spent that time together. She even seemed to be delighted, but tried to contain these emotions and easily let me go on my business. There was no one at the sawmill that day. First of all, I decided to deal with Louis. I got into the sawmill without any problems, but I had to tinker with Louis's office. The lock still didn't give in to me. I freaked out and just drilled the lock with a drill. I also did not waste time on trifles with the safe. I broke it, but got to the insides. I saw strange invoices. A small part of the wood processed by use was honest, but a much larger amount of wood was sold illegally, without taxation. It was just a huge amount of money. Oh, you greedy person. I yelled when I saw it. This person was doing dark things, and we all here didn't even know about it. He kept all the money for himself, but each time he deceived us. Suddenly I heard laughter and someone's steps. I quickly closed the safe and doors, turned off the light, and hid under the table. Suddenly Louis burst into the office. Jessica remained outside, but I recognized her voice. Damn! I kind of closed the office. Louis was outraged. Louis, hurry up. With annoyance, said Jessica. Jessica, now. I'll take the money. I left it somewhere on the table before leaving and forgot to pick it up. Jessica walked slowly into the office as Louis fiddled with the desk. Louis, hurry up. I don't want my husband to find us here yet. What is it to do here on his day off? You said he was going to help his friend. Yes, but you never know. He wasn't himself after that dinner. You, of course, went too far, but I liked how furious Jason was. Jessica, you imagine how he will be furious when I go on vacation, pick you up, and we will deceive him again. Let him work. He's already doing great. Howdy doing great with everything himself. But of course, I won't pay him any more money. He's still not going anywhere. Well, you're cruel. Louis, Jessica said with a smile. That's the way slaves should be treated. They should be kept in line. Otherwise, nothing will come of it. Who turned me on? My imperious boss. Jessica said excitedly. But where's the damn money? Already shoveled everything? Okay, come here, my bitch. Now Daddy will punish you well in front of the restaurant. Louis answered, Go and punish me, my tiger. Jessica said. I held back to the last, but when Louis quickly tore off my wife's clothes and threw her on the table, I clenched my fists and pulled out from under the table. And you that bitch is vile. They did not expect. I shouted and kicked Louis, who flew off the table. Jason, is that you? What are you doing here? Scared asked Jessica. Shut your mouth, bitch. I shouted. Louis tried to get to his feet, but I punched him right in the teeth and knocked him to the floor again. Louis passed out. Don't yell, bitch. How could you? I was ready for anything for you, and you brazenly lied to me and messed with this beast. Jason, please forgive me. I don't know what came over me. Jessica justified herself in tears. No, bitch, you have no forgiveness. I said, gagged Jessica with a rag, and then tied her up. I dragged these knits to the sawmill and tied them to the table, on which the logs were cut into boards with a saw. Then I slapped Louis back to his senses. Wake up, knight, meet your fate. I shouted. Jason, wait. I know I treated you badly, but please, whatever you're up to, don't do it. Well, no, right now, I will do what has long been needed. I turned on the saw, which pierced the surrounding silence with a cold noise. Up the track on the table, where those bastards were tied, began to move. They understood that I would now cut them in half and squealed like uncut pigs. I had some cranberry juice left over at my workplace, which came in handy for this case. When the saw was already rattling near their bodies, I began to pour the juice on the saw, and drops of juice began to fall on these bastards, which was very similar to blood. They did not see each other. I firmly fixed their heads in one position, so that they thought that they were washed by the blood of the first who fell under the saw. These cries drowned out the ringing of cold steel. But then I turned off the saw and threw those bastards off the table. I'm giving you a second chance, but don't think that you got off lightly, I said, looking at their bodies shaking with fear. I called the police, who found them here with a stack of documents, confirming Louis' illegal dealings. Nobody wanted to listen to the screeching excuses and accusations of these individuals in my direction. They ended up in court. Louis went to prison for a long time. There was a major investigation where they discovered significant violations in the operation of the company. I managed to avoid problems. Jessica was taken to court but eventually released, although she had little left because I discarded everything. I left her with nothing, only her unfulfilled dreams. I myself remained in this city, and I was able to establish my own sawmill, which brought in a really good income for me and my employees. Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. If you enjoy our story, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very motivating for us. We need your feedback to improve our content.